She got a thing for Chanel vintage that dropped before she could speak English. Do you love me or love seeking attention? I mean, which one is it? You keep calling me a twin, but twins ain't this different. Mentally, I'm already on next year. That's some
What's up and welcome back to a brand new video. I'm just about to hop on a relatively important sales call, and one thing I always do before is I Google the people I'm meeting with. So that may be just hopping on a Facebook profile. In this case I found the org, just summary of the person. I need to write down the stuff, like they worked for a company with Swedish origins 20 years ago, write that down. They have expressed these opinions, etc. Then you kind of know what you get into. You know what roles they've had. This person worked at L'Oreal back in the day. Maybe if that opportunity comes in, then poof, you can slide in a joke about skincare, something like that. But I always try to do this before, so I have just some context of who the person is. And now this is quite a big shot. I'm not going to say exactly for what it is, but this is probably one of the bigger meetings I've had so far. So, and I'm sitting here with my porker hat, real serious, about to meet with some finance dude in the US. So, we're gonna take that and we're gonna see how it goes. Bye! Alright, cool, that was that. I can't really tell you too much about what that meeting was about, but I can tell you that it's a pretty exciting one. Now we're gonna go get some food and we're gonna head home and we're gonna actually record some YouTube videos tonight. So maybe I'll hop off the vlog and then hop off. So cool how this gimbal follows you. Like, this tech is unbelievable. It's a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for those of you who are asking. But we're gonna hop off the vlog and we're gonna hop on another camera. Let's head home. Alright folks, gather around because we're about to talk about vibe coding. Now I know this sounds like something that your hippie cousin came up with after a fitness retreat. Alright, so the evening here is coming to an end. I have recorded and edited one whole video about vibe coding. And if you're in the scene, you may have heard this term vibe coding being thrown around. So as you can see, my opinion on vibe coding is pretty clear. And it's quite easy to tell exactly what it is that I think about it. I think it's fantastic. I think this is the future, and I think people are gonna have to adapt. So if you don't know, vibe coding is this whole notion that you just sit down, you use an LLM like ChatGPT or Claude or Cursor, and with no structure whatsoever, you don't need to understand the code, but you just prompt this to code for you. And it is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to get something out there. It's obviously not perfect yet, but we also have to remember that this is as bad as it's gonna be. It's only gonna get better from here. So I think this is pretty cool, and I think I really like this notion of anyone can build something. Anyone can build a product. Now it's just not about having an idea and going to someone who knows how to code and saying, hey, please help me build my idea. No, you can build it by yourself. So super cool. I'm actually learning from this a little bit, and I'm starting to pivot to some degree. And by pivot I mean that I'm looking to also hop more into this business. So I kind of want to switch a little bit how I'm approaching this app development. I have an agency obviously, and I think I'm going to keep that up there just in case opportunities come in. But I'm going to make this mission my personal brand, as well as me and everything I do over the next 1, 2, 3 years, to develop micro SaaS companies. So small companies that make a little bit of revenue. And I've obviously already started. Like, for example, here we're right now on one of these apps sitting on 523 USD MRR, which is pretty good. But I'm going to see if I can hit 10k USD MRR over the next year and a half. That's my goal with micro SaaS companies and by solving my own problems. So one problem that I just encountered is, how do I display and showcase all of my apps for you? For example, if someone want to hop on my YouTube link and check out all of my apps, how do I display them in a nice way? So I'm actually now here building a landing page on Lovable I'm gonna use for this. So for example, view example, everyone's gonna be able to click and then see all of the stuff here. So that's something that we're gonna try to put up. That's something that I'm missing and I think will be good. So we're gonna see if we can build it. So yeah, it's a little bit late now though. It's 11:30. So we'll see if we can approach this some other day. Tomorrow I'm going to be showing you how I do some product testing for an app called ArbSafe, which is another product that I've been working on. But I need to send out all of the documentation, etc. that people need to test it. So we're going to switch to tomorrow and we're going to hop on that. If you're able to tell, we got this really nice little home gym here in the apartment complex that we've just moved into. Pretty basic, but for nights like this where it's and you haven't had time to go to the gym today, or you've had time but you haven't made the time, it's perfect. You can just come in here, hit a quick shoulder session. Why is my camera siding off? Hit a quick shoulder session, do some stretching, just all time good. So we're gonna wrap this up. And by the way, I feel like such a bitch sitting on a yoga mat in the middle of an empty gym with a Pilates ball next to me. This ain't me, man. This ain't me. I used to be able to deadlift like 260 kilos before I became weak and before I became more of a programmer than I am today. But it is what it is. Maybe one day we'll get back there. But now we're going to put this all back and we're going to head back home. And home is like 30 seconds away from here, which is awesome. And we're going to head back into the office. And we're going to head back to the office and we're going to do some final programming before going to bed. So we have this ArbSafe app that we're going to do some beta testing on. And I'm going to show you now the features that we're going to test. And we're actually going to bring on some real users. If you're trying to make an app and if you're trying to build something, the best thing is always to get real users on as early as possible. And now we're a little bit into this journey, so it will be good to get some users onto this and get some real feedback. We'll see what they have to say. But now let's hop on the computer. Alright, so it's an hour or so later, and as you can see here, things are starting to come together. Now, just in the beginning now, we're just using a simple Google Sheet just to keep track of all this. I'll show you just for the sake of it what it looks like. It doesn't have to be anything super complex, but we're just putting some stuff into a Google Sheet. It's WhatsApp. We're just putting some stuff into a Google Sheet like this, and then we're just changing the status as we go in regards to the development. So we'll have some testers, they'll put some stuff like this, and then I'll just be working through those. So that's what I've been doing now. I've been doing some onboarding and some location stuff. So I'll show you this location thing. It's pretty cool. So we're using this. I've obviously removed the API key here now, so don't try to do nothing shady. I got a cat here, as you can see in the down left corner. But we're using this package that's called Address Autocomplete Widgets, and we're using that in combination with the geolocator and the geocoding. So what we're doing is that when the user hops into the app, we initiate the current location. So what we do is we check for the permission to fetch the user's current location, i.e. where the user is now. And if the permission is granted, then obviously, yes, we determine, they can, we can go ahead. So then we do the geolocator and we use the get current position function in order to determine the latitude and the longitude of where the user is. And there we determine the place mark from these coordinates, i.e. where are we? Are we in Stockholm? Are we in Sweden? You know, for example, we look for a street, we look for a locality, administrative area, and country. And right now I'm on a simulator, so I can't really use all of these functions, but you can imagine what it looks like. So then after this, we prepare a query. So we have this function that we use in some spaces here. But here we have this address autocomplete text field. So when you go into create a job and you press, for example, this one, and you click job address here. So what will happen is that when we start typing, it will create a query that we pass to this address autocomplete text field. What this then does is that it will show a bunch of suggestions. So for example, then we get a bunch of suggestions for this road. Then we can say maybe like that, down to it, and then boom, we can click that one. That way, we're always going to have an accurate address that we can use in these apps. So that, you know, the text that a user puts in will never be off. It will always be a relevant text. And it's just as simple as that. And after that, we just pass this address field widget to the create a job page. So like so, and then we're just using the same controller, and then we're just passing the text that's inside of that controller from one widget to the other. So that's something I've been doing, and then we're obviously getting this all in this nice overview. Another thing that I've implemented now that we're going to be doing some real testing is, we're going to actually change this back, is an onboarding. So after the user is signed in, they're going to go through this nice onboarding. Actually, we can go ahead here and change this to make it a little bit larger. So we're going to change all the 0.8 to 0.9. So that will make it a little bit larger. Yeah, there we go. So you go through the onboarding, you just see what you can do with the app, you get some screenshots. And then after this, you press continue, and this is where you'll get to the profile screen if you're actually signing up. And now I'm just demoing this, I'm already signed up. So now we're actually gonna record a little video, or first we're gonna build this app, and then we're gonna record a little video. There we go. We're gonna record a little video for these testers. So just saying like, hey, this is what the app looks like. Please take a look. So we're gonna open this in iOS, and then we're gonna build it and then submit it to some testers. But that's a brief overview of what the app looks like. Obviously, for those of you who are new here, this is one of the products that I'm currently working on. What this is a job/risk assessment app for arborists, so people who work in trees, but then in the future also people who work at height. So here, for example, we have this job. We have a risk assessment that was done. You can export this to PDF, and the important thing here is that it's timestamped, because if it's timestamped, then the insurance is gonna be able to determine, okay, you actually did this risk assessment before you proceeded with the job. So if anything happens, they're gonna be able to say, okay, this person was actually prepared. Yes, we're gonna pay out their insurance. But also, if you do these risk assessments, it's a much more likely scenario that you're doing a safe job that's not gonna impact your health negatively in any way. Because if you're doing this type of high risk work in an unsafe manner, you're bound to have something happen to you. So this is like kind of for the good of people doing these risk assessments and making sure that they're handled correctly. And then you can see who's assigned to the job. You can see that I'm checked in. If I slide this, it will check me out. And then you can also go in, you can see everyone's medical cards, for example. You can go ahead, you can call, you can email. So it kind of becomes a little contact directory for everyone in your job organization too. So it looks like this, kind of where you're able to go this. You can see who are the members, etc. So we're just working through this now. We're currently in a beta type of mode, and we're going to be launching this with some testers, and hence why I'm submitting this to some testers now. So we're going to hop to the camera, and I'm going to get to recording that. All right, so we're coming towards the end of the day here in the store, and I'm not really going to show too much today, but we're having a little bit of an off night tonight. I'm going to hang out with some of my friends that I used to live with. As you know, I now live in a new apartment, so we're gonna do that. Then tomorrow I'm gonna show you exactly my new kind of move after finishing some old projects. One of which involves lovable, but in general, micro SaaS projects. We're gonna leverage all the opportunity that there is out there right now. So let's hop onto tomorrow and let me explain exactly what it is that we're doing. Alright, so here we are. This is actually now, it's Saturday, so it's one day later after you watch whatever video I just showed. This is the first one I launched today, so it's a portfolio app for anyone who wants to display their app portfolio. So this is mine, it's just an example, but this is the landing page where you get to. And the thinking is that people can generate kind of like a link tree, but with their apps here. So anyone can sign in, you can sign up, you can create an account with your username, and it will just say app portfolio / your username, and then you'll be able to add all of your apps. So it's pretty nice, it's pretty cool, relatively simple, completely free to use. I'll be linking it down below, or I'll be linking it down below in all my videos, because this is how I'm going to show off my app portfolio. Now, I have this other app that I have shown a little bit. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen this. I made this for my girlfriend, because she likes to, in the morning, on weekends specifically, she likes to just plan out her day. So it's obviously small now, but that's what it looks like. I have put together some screenshots so you can get an idea of what it looks like. It's just a very simple UI of how you schedule your day. So obviously we would like to say, okay, maybe we have breakfast, then we go to the gym, then we read a little bit, we have to collect trash because we've just moved in, for example, and then we're going out for dinner later. So it's just a very simple way to plan both your tasks and just a general outline of today, and then tomorrow you forget about it. Typically she does this in her Notes app, and obviously that clogs up the Notes app quite a bit, and this is just a little bit of a nicer UI than the Notes app. So these are the screenshots I put together. I've uploaded the build now to App Store, and I'm going to show you how we go through submitting this. So there's a couple of steps to it. First of all, we're going to close these down, and I'm going to open this. So what this is, it's called Astro, or Astra. Astro, I think it's called. And it's a way to research keywords. And here you want to pick something that has relatively high popularity, but not that difficult to rank on. So 45 and 62 is a pretty good one. So I think we're going to go with daily planner is kind of like the main keyword we're ranking on, and ADHD planner is kind of the secondary keyword. So we're gonna go into ChatGPT. I'm gonna say I am submitting to App Store with a simple daily schedule maker and tasks. I'm gonna say the main keyword, daily planner, and the secondary, ADHD planner. Cool. And then we're gonna say create an app name, app subtitle. Actually, we're gonna do this. So this is the privacy policy I'm using. Use this feature like so. And we're gonna head over here. Actually, we're gonna close this bar so we see it more clearly. So we're gonna do subtitle, max 30 characters. We're gonna do name. Actually, we already said name. Max 18. We're gonna do. What else do we need? We also need a description, right? I believe. Yep. So we need a promotional text. Maximum 170. And then we need description, which is 100. No, sorry, 4,000. And then we also need keywords. Comma, separated, and max 100. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create a SEO friendly text for these, and then some context. My girlfriend likes to Okay, so perfect. This is the query we're doing. I'm submitting an app to App Store with a simple daily schedule maker and tasks. Main keyword is daily planner, and the second one is ADHD planner. Create an app name, max 18, and then we're just saying how many characters you can have. And we're just asking it to do all of these things. So it's saying create an SEO-friendly text for these. And context, my girlfriend likes to plan out her day in the morning, but in her notes app, but this usually gets clogged up. And we're gonna switch the model here to 4.5. Boom, like so. And now we're gonna go ahead and first of all, we're gonna upload the screenshots. So I've downloaded, so we made the screenshots here. This is a fantastic app, by the way, screenshots.pro. It's free to use in most cases, but we're gonna take this one that we've downloaded, and we're gonna drag these screenshots onto there. Wrong format. I guess they're too large. So, quick solution. We're going to go into Canva and we're going to make them the correct format. So they need to be 1,242. So width 1,242, and the height should be 2,688. So we create that new design and we're just going to upload all of these there. And we're going to reformat them a little bit, like so. So I guess it's a little off sometimes because they changed the... See, yeah, there's like 1 pixel there too wide. So not a big deal, but we're just going to correct it quickly. Like that. See, there's that 1 pixel to the right. And then we're going to just import all of these Simple like that. And the last one. Perfect. Like that, we're gonna hit share, we're gonna download it. Download those, close this one. Perfect, and then we have those untitled designs, which are gonna be these ones. Gonna get that back there. Upload those, edit. Okay. And then it's gonna, for some reason, whenever you do this, it always uploads them in a random order. So we're just gonna shuffle them correctly. Perfect, like that. And then we're gonna head back to our ChatGPT to see what they have generated. So it's saying Daily Planner Pro. It's gonna be the app name. I think that's pretty decent. Daily Planner Pro, we're gonna call it. And the Organize Your Day Easily is gonna be the subtitle. We're gonna save that. And then for the app review, for the app information, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the promotional text. Similar daily routines with Daily Planner Pro, designed for simplicity, clarity, and perfect tools for effective daily planning, like that. For the description, we're gonna see Daily Planner Pro is your go-to app. Then we're just gonna leave it like that. And we're gonna ask it to add some to the description. And then we have keywords, which it said we're gonna be. Where's the keyword list? Oh, there. Daily Planner, ADHD Planner, Task Organizer. Okay, it's a little long. Daily Task, we're gonna call it. Daily Task, Daily Planner. We're gonna call it Daily Plan. ADHD Plan. Okay, cool. And we're gonna leave all of those in there. So now leave that in there. And then also you always need to have the standard EULA. Obviously, if you have a custom one, you'll use that, but we're going to use the standard EULA, and we're going to write that, put that in here. And this always happens also. This is a glitch that they have for some reason. Like that. So you always have to paste it twice. It's some issue they have. And for support, we're just going to go Palm Node. palmnode.com. I placed it in the support URL. Perfect. And then we're not going to require sign in. We're going to add all my stuff. Email me if you want to. I dare you. And for the build, we're going to add the latest build, which is going to be this one. We're not using any algorithms or anything because it's a very, very simple app. We're going to save that. Perfect. We're going to hit save. So full number, the field is invalid. The plus. Like so. And save. Add for review. And we're going to add the app to review on the App Store. All right, there's a couple of things we haven't done. We need to add a primary category, which in this case is going to be, see if they have a planner here of some kind. Productivity. Productivity, we're going to call it 1. And the second one is going to be lifestyle. Save. So pricing, we're going to make it free. And how I like to do it is I make all of these free to begin with, or some of them free to begin with. And then if they do really well, then we can monetize them in the future, because that is the plan. Maybe add some pro features or anything like that, but just make sure that it's free to begin with, so we can see if we're actually fulfilling some type of product market fit. Perfect. And then we're going to see if we can add to review now. It's probably going to be one more error. I think I only did 2 things there. Copyright information. So app privacy. Publish. We're going to publish the privacy there. Nothing strange. And then there's the copyright part. Which is where exactly? Here. And I guess that's going to be here. This one. Nordic Social Media AB. Save. Cool. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this for review. So what's going to happen now is that Apple is going to review this just to make sure that it works. There's nothing strange. And yeah, that is pretty much the process for setting up an app on the Apple App Store. And then after that, I'm going to be adding this to my nice portfolio, which is here. And if you're an Apple developer, if you're an app developer of any kind, check this out. You can add your portfolio very nicely. It just serves as a link tree too, because you can link to your Instagram, you can link to your YouTube. So it's a very nice way just to get that all into one link. But that is how I do it. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And then now we'll give it 3 or so months. We see what kind of traction it gets. We let it marinate a little bit, and then we try to monetize it. So that is the plan. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call an end to this video. You can find both the planner down below if you feel like it's going to be something that you can use. And you can also find my portfolio down below. And in the portfolio, you can find all of the apps, and you can also make your own portfolio. So definitely go check that out. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.